DaBaby just flipped the internet upside down by spilling tea nobody saw coming, and this time, it's about Queen Bey and Jay-Z themselves. Yep, you heard that right. DaBaby is coming for Beyonce and Jay-Z with claims that have everyone gasping for air. So what in the world happened? Let's get into it. According to DaBaby, there was a night at Diddy's house. And baby, it wasn't just a house visit. It was a full-blown freak fest. And Beyonce and Jay-Z walked right into it. Now, most folks thought Jay-Z was the one getting dirty with Diddy, but no, DaBaby claims it was Beyonce too. And not only was she involved, she's apparently been down for a long time. Let that sink in. Nobody, and we mean nobody, expected DaBaby to be the one to drop this nuclear level gossip, but he did. And the backlash, oh honey, it's real. Social media has been side-eyeing Beyonce ever since. Because let's be honest, if she was really watching Diddy do what he does with no plans to stop him, that's not just messy, that's dangerous. The chaos started when a clip from DaBaby's interview with Shannon Sharpe started going viral. And get this, it dropped right around the same time Diddy got busted by the feds on serious RICO charges. Talk about timing, the internet lost it. And when people heard exactly what DaBaby said, Chile, they were dragging Beyonce and Jay-Z like never before. According to DaBaby, he was invited to Diddy's mansion for what he thought was a normal meeting. But surprise, Beyonce and Jay-Z were already there. And DaBaby, he was shook. He had no idea they'd be in the room. But wait, it gets even wilder. Moments later, Diddy reportedly cleared out the entire room, left only DaBaby, Beyonce, and Jay-Z, just them. That's when Beyonce allegedly walked over to DaBaby to introduce herself. Now on paper, sure, that sounds fine. But according to DaBaby, she got touchy, and it left him confused. Like, girl, why are you doing all this when I clearly know who you are?
Beyonce, I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people, he had put them out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Me and maybe about 15 others,
Right.
Jay-Z and Beyonce being, two of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in
right.
at the moment, And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to.
Right.
Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop de whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was dope.
While people were still reeling from that interview, enter attorney Ariel Mitchell, who showed up in her messy boots to add more fuel to the fire. In another interview, Ariel claimed someone contacted her to help with the sale of a freak-off tape. And yes, she said she saw the tape herself. The real gag? According to Ariel, the other person in the tape was even more high-profile than Diddy. And who in the world fits that description? Social media immediately screamed, Beyonce.
Also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute, say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Catch and kill, correct.
Wow, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No, I
tape.
can't explain who the person was, but
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? And you've seen it?
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video, and I can tell the video was graphic in nature.
Oh my, all right. So we know that he videotaped a lot of activities at his home, Diddy. And it sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so it's to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotaping, like they're being surreptitiously recorded it.
And guess who else backed it up? Jaguar Wright. She confirmed the baby wasn't just in a meeting with Diddy, Beyonce, and Jay-Z. No, girl, it was a full-blown freak-off. Jaguar said the baby didn't want to say it outright because Shannon Sharpe has been working closely with Beyonce and Jay-Z, helping Shannon secure that big NFL deal. And the baby, he wasn't trying to ruffle any feathers on that platform.
What he is a broke-down Mandingo fighter still working on behalf of the NFL. That's what he is. Period. You want to know what else I also find funny? That he did that interview with the baby person who sat there and told him about when he met Beyonce. Y'all remember that? That happened on Shay Shay. And he talked about how he was at the Diddy party at Diddy's house. And how after, the festivities were winding down and it was getting later into the middle of the night, approaching 3 a.m., Diddy got rid of almost everybody, but he let the baby stay behind with him and his close friends. And then he talked about how Beyonce was there and Jay-Z was there. Not at their house, at Diddy's house. And how Beyonce presented herself to him, and she didn't have to do that because he knew who she was and he couldn't believe she was talking to him. But she approached him, kind of like how she approached that old friend of his when he said that he was at the party and the little people was there and she asked him, "Isn't this sexy?" My. How illuminating. There's been a lot of freaking off going on for a long time. Why does everybody keep... Let me tell you this. Beyonce, Giselle Knowles Carter. It does not matter how much money they spend, how many people, those tickets ain't gonna sell. You're caught. I wish you had the common sense that animals do when they're caught. They just surrender. But no, y'all gonna fight it to the very end. Y'all gonna bring this broke down old NFL bum who apparently will do anything with his genitals to help cover or create validity where there is none with the weirdos. With his little orange purse. Screwing people's kids. Screwing kids young enough to be his grandchildren. Shame on you. You a dirty old man. Period.
But the puzzle pieces, they're all snapping into place. Fans had their suspicions about Beyonce and Jay-Z's private dealings before, but now, DaBaby just gave people confirmation, and that opened the door to even darker theories. People started speculating that Jay-Z was allegedly pimping Beyonce out to Diddy for these freak-offs, and that he kept her sedated with substances just to make it happen. Yes, that is the level of mess we're dealing with here.
But I'll say it, man. Yeah, Beyonce's on books. She been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way.
And the more drugs he pumps down his wife's throat to keep her in a
No, girl. Not my beautiful Beyonce 5.
I tell you this right now, y'all talking about free Britney. Y'all need to be doing a campaign that say free Beyonce.
The Beyonce is free.
She is a prisoner in a gilded cage.
Now let's talk about that video. You've seen it, the viral clip where Beyonce looked absolutely out of it, courtside at a basketball game. Her eyes barely stayed open. Her head kept swaying side to side like she was in another dimension. Her PR team rushed in with excuses, claiming she was just tired from rehearsals, but no one was buying it. That was not just exhaustion. Then it got even darker. Beyonce's former assistant came forward and told Media Takeout that Jay-Z had been putting hands on her. Her actual words? Seems that for a while he's had a problem with keeping his hands to himself. And she didn't mean it metaphorically. The assistant described seeing Jay shove and push Beyonce, thinking it was just horseplay, but then she saw how embarrassed Beyonce was, and it hit her. This wasn't play. This was manipulation, control, possibly and she stayed quiet all this time because she didn't feel like it was her place to say anything. But now, she couldn't hold it in anymore. Beyonce wasn't being treated like a wife or a queen, she was being treated like an object. And just when you thought this couldn't get worse, Storm Monroe, a gossip YouTuber known for pulling no punches, jumped in and said Diddy's trial is the reason Beyonce has been hustling harder than ever. From clothes to perfume to albums to tours, she's been on a non-stop grind. And Storm says it's because she knows her time might be up. Remember Ivy Park with Adidas? That fizzled out. Then came the Renaissance World Tour, then the movie based on the tour, then the Cowboy Carter album, and now another rushed, chaotic tour that fans say feels sloppy and last minute. She's allegedly stacking up cash fast like she's preparing for something.
The reason why they're already living separate lives, and we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood, is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed. And it's only so much of these stories that Jay-Z can, he can pay off or he can block. He won't be able to stop this. And she knows it and he knows it too. As far as who's gonna be the breakout victim / story, I don't know. Yeah, I might have to ask Jay Salih. I don't know. But I'm just letting you know that once that comes out and Jay-Z is exposed for his nefarious past, you're gonna see Beyonce divorce him. Okay? And she may or may not do an interview, but their publicist is gonna release something. She's gonna say, oh, the Carters have been separated for some time. They built this beautiful life, blah, 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 blah. Now, before all this happens, we may get another tour. We may get another album out of both of them. I don't know, because at the end of the day, they about their money first. They're gonna do what's best for business first. As far as Beyonce is concerned, do she love him? I mean, he's really all that she knows.
Then boom, a mysterious source stepped forward and spilled everything in a blind item that had jaws on the floor. The item read, industry insiders have been whispering about this for a while. And here's the kicker. It also claimed Beyonce's bodyguard ran after her at an award show because she was trying to flee the country. What? Apparently, Beyonce has reached a breaking point. She's done with the pressure, the control, the handlers who monitor her every move. The source even claims she's battling depression and dark thoughts. Her team isn't just worried for her safety, they're terrified they'll lose their cash cow. And as if that wasn't enough, the whispers say Beyonce's done with her mom's tight grip. She's over Jay-Z's so-called influence. She's ready to rebel. Fans started speaking out too. One commenter said, Jay-Z and Beyonce waited too late to make moves. Now they don't have money and can't take out a loan. Another added, it's all sad. Did you see the hand sign Beyonce was holding up? If they're allegedly doing all this sick mess with young people and animals, they should all be in jail. Yikes. This rabbit hole goes deep. So now we gotta ask, was DaBaby telling the truth? Or is he just stirring the pot for clout? And what do you think really made Beyonce and Jay-Z run from that party at Diddy's mansion? Was it fear, guilt, or were they simply caught in the act? Drop your thoughts in the comments because baby, this drama isn't going anywhere.